Hi everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of The Dish with Chrish. I'm Christian, but you can call me Chrish. I'm so excited to start dishing about all of the juicy topics that are rolling around in my head and hopefully are on your minds as well. To get started though, I think it's important that we talk about things that will help you get to know me a little bit. I know most of you watching probably already know me, I might go to school with you, but the goal is that some people that don't know me will start watching as well. So maybe it's important that I let you guys know who I am. So like I said, I'm Christian, I'm 20 years old, I'm a junior at Champlain College in Burlington, Vermont, but I'm not originally from New England. I'm originally from Oklahoma, which is the shiny buckle of the Bible Belt. And I moved to literally the most liberal state in America. I think that's on some list somewhere. You can go check it out. I came here 3 years ago, and since I've been here, I have noticed so many different things about Midwesterners, Southerners, and New Englanders, Vermonters as a whole. Some stereotypes that are not real is that New Englanders aren't nice. I remember all of my high school friends were scared that I was going to come here and everyone was not going to be welcoming, people weren't going to be kind, but everyone's very nice. I clearly feel welcomed enough to be doing a video blog, so good for you, Vermont. Some big things that I have noticed, not to Vermont's credit, however, is the way people maintain themselves. In the South, we like to get dressed up and go to brunch. We think it's important to fix our hair before we go to the grocery store. And this is just a generalization. But in Vermont, whether people are going to the grocery store, out to dinner on a Friday night, or to the most fancy dinner possible, people don't really care what they look like. And that is almost always exemplified through their footwear. Let me tell you something. When I am traveling back to Vermont from Oklahoma on a break or something, I can always tell who are the local Vermonters by what they're wearing on their feet, because it's always something very comfortable looking, which typically is not a good thing, and it's always something that looks very sort of orthopedic, like doctor prescribed, which is fine. If you need that, more power to you, but let me tell you something, they're not attractive. Now let me tell you something else I've noticed. I obviously have been living on a college campus since my freshman year, and I know that most of my perceptions of the state and the city and the region in general are based on the people that I go to school with, so it might not be entirely fair. The difference between Champlain, the school I go to, and the schools that I'm familiar with is astronomical. Both my mom, my dad, and my sister all went to schools that had gender-specific dorms, they had curfews, you had to sign rules saying you wouldn't drink when you were a student there. Now my school is a dry campus, and we have our rule books, and when you're a freshman during orientation, you hear about these rules. People don't really pay attention to them so much. I will tell you, I had never smelled marijuana or seen marijuana until I came to school here, and I was admittedly very scandalized by even the talk of it when I first came here. But now I have seen it, I've smelled it, I've never smoked it, but I am very familiar with what people look like and act like when they have, and I feel very comfortable about it now. And maybe it is because all of that marijuana smoking that people don't find it necessary to wash their hair, or iron their clothes, or bathe. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with that. I haven't figured out the correlation yet. When I do, I'll let you know. But grooming can be broken down into so many different segments that I will make sure to talk to you guys about later. One of the most important elements of grooming that I have to address on our very first segment, though, is something very near and dear to my heart. Something that if you know me, you know I take great pride in, and that is eyebrow maintenance. Now they say that your eyes are the windows to the soul, but your eyebrows are the sexy drapes that show them off to the world. And you have to make sure, whether you're a boy or a girl, you have to make sure that they look good. Now, all you have to really do is either go get them waxed, go get them threaded, or buy yourself a $15 pair of tweezers and pluck those stray hairs. You don't have to shape them perfectly if you don't want to, but they should say a little something about you. Eyebrows can let me and the world know if you had breakfast that morning, if you brushed your teeth before you came to class, if you have a good relationship with your mother. I can tell all of these things by how unkempt your eyebrows are. So it's important that you keep track of them. And on a college campus, clearly there's a lot of flirtation that goes on, not necessarily with me, but with other people. And eyebrows are very important to this. You can raise an eyebrow when you're showing interest. You can look seductively with an eyebrow if you need to. Whatever you need to do, eyebrows are very important and their maintenance is very important. Maybe I'll do a tutorial later on. Who knows? Anyway, that's it for our very first segment. I hope that you found what I talked about as insightful and meaningful as I did. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Also, you feel free to follow me on Instagram at Christian Michael Shaw. And if you guys want to have some input on what we dish about next, go ahead and let us know on Facebook, and we'll be happy to talk about whatever ideas you have. Anyway, this has been The Dish with Chrish. Advice you don't need and opinions you didn't ask for. Have a great night.